Hello everyone, my name is First Officer Aminu Maina here at VMO. With me is
Magdalene Aero, Cabin Service Executive.
Today we have a very important aviation concept to talk to you about, which is CRM. CRM stands for Crew Resource Management, and this is a very important thing in our day-to-day experience as we fly in the air. Meg, could you tell them what CRM is all about?
Of course, crew resource management is how we make safe and informed decisions on board, right? So we use, there are core pillars here that are very important, which include communication, mutual respect, teamwork, and decision making, leadership as well, situational awareness. So this is how we work together as a team. You know, as smart or skilled as you may want to think you are, aviation is a very complex sector that you cannot work independently on your own. So it is important to always be in sync with your team. And that's basically what CRM is about.
Well, as you've said, for me, CRM involves using all the internal and external resources, as Meg has mentioned, to ensure safe outcome of the flight. Critical decision making is very important when we fly. Situational awareness just as much. So, in your little experience, or in your vast experience rather, Meg, tell me, how have you used CRM to ensure that all your day-to-day flights are successful? I'm sure it involves us as well, so obviously.
Of course, we're a team. I mean, we're always working together.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, so for me is for working together with my team, clear communication is very important. And you know, because on board there's a chain of command, right? As much as you want to think you know and you want to take decisions by yourself, you cannot do that because you always have to run everything through the commander. And sometimes, I mean, when you notice something, that's where situational awareness comes in. You have to speak up. You can't see something and keep quiet. So
yes.
Even when you're not sure if what you're saying is wrong or right, but you want to just say it to someone. It's better you're saying it to your flight crew and they're saying, oh, don't worry, there's nothing, than to keep quiet and later find that something was actually wrong and you were just quiet about it.
Yes.
So for me, my flight crew are usually very helpful, to be honest. And when it comes to decision making, they communicate timely, effectively, and you know, there are times where we have to make changes and they could be very quick, right? So
100%.
They're good with communication,
100%.
just to ensure that we're all in sync and you know, no one is left behind.
Yeah, you see, one thing you have mentioned is the rate at which things change.
Very quickly.
1 minute we're planning, the next thing, everything changes. Communication is where the balance lies. The purpose of communication is to understand. I can do this, and you understand what that means.
Yeah.
But if I just do this and I do this without actually
No
describing,
questions.
you know, it becomes a problem. One thing I've actually noticed with you whenever we fly is from time to time you come into the cockpit, hey, are you guys okay? Is there anything you guys need? That is CRM as well. So that's actually a very, very good thing that you portray in the cockpit.
Yeah.
In my experience, a little bit of background from my training environment is I had to fly training a student and we had an issue with the landing gear. There was 3 of us on that flight and there was 1 person at the back. So we came into land and then we weren't sure that our landing gear was down. We put the landing gear down, but then we saw a red light indicating that it's in an unsafe situation. So you know, plans have changed, just as we've said. Now what we simply did was we went back up in the air, reassessed the situation. One critical aspect you mentioned was situational awareness, knowing where you are all the time. In this case, what we simply did was took off, communicated within ourselves. The person on my right seat is an experienced pilot. I'm training him. So all I did was I told him, communicate with air traffic control. Back at the beginning, you know, I mentioned internal and external resources. When it comes to internal resources, that's you, me, and the captain. When it comes to external resources, we're talking about ATC, as well as dispatch.
Yeah.
You know,
Operations.
Operations, thank you very much. We are very quick to ignore them. However, they actually help in making critical decisions. And in that case, that is simply what happened. We analyzed the situation, we came back and landed safely. So,
nice.
I know. CRM at its finest. So yeah, any other thing, Meg, you want to bring up about CRM that you would like to add?
Yeah, so one experience that I just had recently would be, recently we operated an international flight, a very long haul flight, and so we had to redirect to a different airport because the originally planned airport had no space for us to park. Right, so we had to land at a nearby airport. So the captain had to make that decision, and you know, I was notified immediately. So captain would usually call, because you know, when you get a call from the cockpit, you're expected to suspend everything and report immediately, because you don't know what the situation is at that time.
100%,
so
it could be an emergency.
That call is priority. And then captain briefs me that we have to land at a different airport, and I'm able to communicate that information to the passenger, and in that process I am briefed as well, right? And then communication, sometimes you can mishear things, you can misunderstand things.
100%.
So one thing I do all the time that I am being briefed on anything is I would usually repeat what I'm being told back. So the idea is, if I'm misunderstanding something, if I'm mishearing something, you can, you know, correct me in that moment. So yeah, that just really helps. Communicate clearly, understand. If you don't understand, ask all the question, no matter how silly that question is, just ask. So
yeah, you know, that's a very important thing that you've just mentioned. I did not look at it from that perspective, but sometimes you may hear one thing and do the other.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa. You may misunderstand. So it's very important that that communication is clear and concise.
Yeah, especially during high pressure situations.
Exactly, and that's where the problem comes in. You're very busy, task saturated, and then you don't know what's going on. You hear the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and then there's an extra layer of stress on everyone. Well, I think that's a very, very good concept to discuss and learn about CRM. Well, to everyone back at home, this is Meg, this is Aminu. Thank you very much for listening.